Good morning. Bon matin à tous. So today I have a hair appointment, if you're not already drifting my style. I have a retie appointment today, and I was supposed to prep my hair last night, but if you know, you know. So I had no energy for it, so I decided to plait them down quickly so that I can wash it this morning, go to work, and yeah. So the reason I'm here is because, yeah, so I have my retie tonight, and I thought I would do an episode with Kimberley, my loctician. She is amazing. So I decided to get locks in May of 2022 after having a really bad reaction to a set of braids in January. So following that bad reaction, I decided to just lock my hair because I knew eventually I was going to do it. So I'm like, might as well just do it now. So that's how I started this lock journey, and it's been great since I've started, honestly. I don't regret anything in terms of like maintenance. Like I was very much a lazy natural, so waking up, doing all these ties in my hair, like j'ai pas le temps, you know? So I would have rather just have locks now that my hair is already made. In the morning I get to just wake up and do what I need to do rather than having to stress about twisting and making sure that the hair looks nice and presentable. Like it was too much, baby girl. It was too much. So here I am now, almost 2 years in, with this set of locks and no regrets. Hello, we are back. On a fini notre journée. What is this? We finished our work day, and this is how I saw clients. Well, one client. So my hair looks like washed and still plaited. So still a little bit damp, but it's better than soaked. It is currently 3:53, and I have to go to the dollar store to purchase a gift bag for Kimberly. So, on est prêt. On y va. They're kind of flat though. Usually my hair is really curly at the end of a wash day, but I made them bigger curls rather than smaller ones, but it's okay. It's okay. She's still pretty. She's still pretty. We have arrived. Is it windy? It is. Hi. Hi. How are you? I'm good. Good. Hi, good. You? It's been good. It's been a while since I've seen you, actually.
Yeah, I think the last time we were here was
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. How's work going?
It's okay.
It's okay. Are you almost done school? You're excited?
Yes, I'm so sick of high school. Like,
Do you have senioritis yet?
yeah.
Yeah.
I've had it since last year.
Yeah. Last year. So it started early. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Your camera's here. Oh. Here you go. Okay.
Is that for your hair?
Yeah, for my hair, for my project. We're doing a combination of things today.
That's so...
We have the apron.
Turn that down. Because ain't nobody hearing impaired. And here?
Probably the kids.
Oh, absolutely. I was just about to say, can you tell my children have been down here?
Okay, so Kimberly and I always watch this show. We've been watching this show called Saving our marriage, and we're almost at the end, so we gotta watch it and finish it. And then, by the way, I didn't do it. I'm just gonna snitch on myself a little bit because my hair's gonna do it anyways. I've been wearing the fluffy scarves that I'm not supposed to.
Oh, that's why I saw fuzzeration. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I saw some perforation.
Yeah, I was in the car trying to get them out of my way every red light. I was like, yeah. I'm like, it's too late. It's too late. Yeah,
hilarious.
They're everywhere.
Because I just picked one up. I'm like, okay.
They're everywhere. Yeah, I need to stitch on myself.
That's hilarious. Yeah, confession is good. For the soul, they say. You're hilarious.
I tried. So I'm here doing retightening from Miriam using a crochet needle hook, and I'm doing a 4-point rotation, and based on the amount of new growth that she has and where I want her hair to fall, I assess her lock, and determine which point to go in at. So this particular lock does not have that much new growth, so I use the clock. I think of the clock, so this is how I put in the lock through the needle. I hold it so it doesn't slip out, and then I think of the clock. So 12, 9, 6, 3. I'm gonna go in at 9. I'm gonna make sure that it's taut. So I pull gently through, and I like this needle because it doesn't snag. So for the tender-headed clients, and I go in through the middle of the lock, and I pull gently through. That's 6, so I do 9, 6, then I'm gonna go 3 because of the way how I want the hair to fall. Sorry. So then it falls down because we're now at the back and I want her lock to fall flat like this. So that's how I just finished retightening that one lock. So do you want to introduce yourself? So I am Kimberly. I am a wife, a mother, an ordained pastor, a marriage and relationship coach. I am the founder of TLC, it's not exclusive to just marriage, premarital, or couples. It's for anyone. So TLC is To Love and To Cherish. My take on To Love and To Cherish, or TLC, is rediscovering Cherish. That's what I've found over the years of counseling couples that we've had the honor of sitting down with, is they come to my husband and I, and some of them, and they're just thinking that divorce or separation is the only alternative to the challenges that they're facing. And so after talking with them, just having conversations, I always like to get to the root of things. So I like to say, oh, tell me, let's get to the beginning. How did you guys meet? And not only is it for
me and my husband to get a sense of the couple, but what we have found is when we ask, tell me like how and where did you guys meet, what ends up happening is the couple starts to go down memory lane, and then some couples who allow themselves to be genuine in those moments, I see them starting to look at each other like, yeah, and you know, do you remember that first date and when you ate off my pie, or right? And then they start to have those little chuckle moments, and then it's not as intense. And really what that says to me in that moment is it's not dead. Like, you guys think your relationship is dead, but it's not dead. What you need is time to rediscover who you are and the person that you are in this moment. Life has gotten you guys so busy that you've just forgotten how to cherish this particular person. Like I was saying before, you know, you're not the same person when you're at the altar.
Right.
For some of us, and my husband would disagree, we put on some pounds, extra poundage. You have little minions of yourself running around, vying for your attention, and you know, work and school and society and inflation and mortgage or rent or all of that, and soccer and football and all of those fees that comes with extracurricular activities, and you come home and you're out the door here and there, that you forget each other. Yeah. And so when we ask, like, tell me about where and how, you're forced to really just step away from everything and everybody else, and in that moment you focus on just each other, and you remember where you start. And then what we've often seen too is they start to ask each other questions, and you remember when, and then when Johnny was, and then we were dancing and the kids were laughing and giggling, and then they start to have conversations forgetting that we're there in the room with them. And then things just start to happen. Sometimes it's, goodness, like, we've gotten so busy, and they get to that self-realization on their own, and then it's, you know, sometimes it's, babe, I'm sorry, or okay, Kimberly, Christopher, where do we go from here? Like, what do we do? Can you help us? And then it's like, we applaud and celebrate that victory, those small victories, like they got to that point on their own. Do you sense that I'm really passionate about this? Because you asked me a question, I'm still
You're
talking,
just ranting.
right? I'm still going. I love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your like favorite part about like
oh my
the
goodness,
work you do?
it's the journey.
Yeah.
It's the journey. Yeah. And it's like, don't be afraid, because the journey helps you to discover, hence that word, right? You're rediscovering. Right. And you get to discover so many different things about who you are, and you're like, I forgot just how fun you were. I forgot the sound of your laughter and how it makes me feel, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's the journey. Sometimes it's just really identifying the necessary tool to help you cope. Right. And sometimes just telling them, like, it's okay. We're not just telling our couples to date and to keep dating and making sure that dating is an intentional, integral part of your calendar. You have to date your wife consistently. Date your husband all the time, and don't stop dating. Don't stop. And dating doesn't have to be like, oh, we have to fancy restaurant. I was going to say, what does that look like? No, listen, take a walk to Tim Hortons. Like, listen, inflation, gas prices, listen, girl. Listen, right? Listen. Yeah. Dairy Queen on a nice Sunday. Listen, get 2 spoons. Things are tight. Get 2 spoons. Listen, no shame. Get 2 spoons.
Get a mini and 2 spoons, right? And you'll be fine.
Listen, getting 2 spoons means y'all have to like the same flavor. You gotta decide on the flavor, but get 2 spoons and just laugh and giggling. And you know, put some of the ice cream on each other's nose and kiss the ice cream off each other's nose. Like, be silly and have fun. Don't take each other so seriously. Don't take yourself so seriously. Laugh, dance. You know,
when it's their time.
Absolutely, and in our community, it's important that our children see that.
Right.
Because I grew up in a single parent home, so I didn't see that. My husband, on the other hand, he was the opposite. He grew up with mom and dad and his 2 older brothers, and so he saw that, and so it was important for him. He was like, "This is what I want for our marriage," and I was like, "I love it."
Right.
kids mimic what they see, that sometimes they really are a product of their environment. If they don't see it, they've not seen it, and from model certain things, take what you see and implement it, and then discard the things that will not work for your relationship.
Right.
But you guys have to come together, coach, head coach, whatever. Again, my husband's a basketball coach. You'll hear these analogies. And you determine the play. You determine the culture of your relationship. Not Hollywood, not the tabloids or TMZ or whatever, but ask the questions from your village, from the people, and don't be afraid. I don't know, I don't like it when we withhold information from each other that can help us to grow, especially like you said, we don't always see that growing up. Well, how else are we supposed to undo those unhealthy relationship patterns and habits so that our children can have better relationships and healthier marriages? It's by talking. We've got to talk and share our stories.
Yeah, and like pushing through that discomfort of like having to talk, even if we don't know where to start. I guess it's just like showing up for that conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because your experience, I can learn from it, and vice versa. I can learn from you too, but it starts by having those conversations and not being ashamed, but also know that there's trust in our community too, because we're not for chat, right? And people don't always like to risk putting themselves out there and then their business is everywhere.
Basically.
No, we ought to be each other's keepers.
Yeah. Okay, so then I guess I have a question for that. You know when like people will say like you have to keep your
business to yourself?
Yeah. Is that what do you think about that?
There is, I'm sorry, whatever is kept in the darkness will come to light, but so many marriages and relationships fail. You hear, oh my goodness, so-and-so's been beating so-and-so.
Yeah.
Well, how come we didn't know? Because you kept it a secret. No. Some things you need to talk about. You need to expose it. You need to expose it. We've never done this before. Why are we hiding? No, we go to the ones who are more mature in their relationship and we talk about it. There's still areas in communication that we're still working through because we're changing and growing each and every day. So how, he communicated to me last year, I might not like that anymore. Especially coming out of COVID, what we liked and thought was okay, we didn't like it. It's like, no, I don't like that anymore.
Expose. If there's harm, do you have to expose that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. And you start with each other, especially in the bedroom. You're never, ever, ever to talk about the other person in a way that would bring shame and disgrace and make other people laugh at them, especially in that area. I'm very, very big on, you gotta protect each other. Like, if you can't be safe with your partner, with your spouse, be really naked and vulnerable, there's the risk of being or having a really authentic and genuinely healthy relationship, it's very, very slim. Is that my husband lays in my arms, and I think that's such an honor. I get to put my hand on his head and I bless him and I praise him and I honor him and I tell him that he's great and all that stuff. The world has enough to say about our black men. It's for us as black women, as women, to use our voices to build and esteem our men so that they can leave our presence feeling like they can conquer the world.
Then I guess it's kind of figuring out like how do we hold ourselves accountable and how do we notice when we're like projecting onto somebody else when they didn't do that harm. Or maybe we just don't have that language too. So it's kind of like easier for us to just like nag our way through rather than like praise through.
You're so right now, and if I'm gonna be very, very, very transparent.
Go ahead.
I didn't have this kind of language growing up. I didn't know about praising. I didn't far from it. I grew up hearing and seeing the women in my family abuse, beat the men.
Interesting.
Tell them that they're worthless, all of that. So I didn't know any better. Not at all. So when I moved to Canada and as I'm getting older, and God has blessed me with friends that I saw their families, their mom and dads were together, and the way that they talked and etc. And one of our mentors actually is one of my best friends' sister and brother-in-law, and I met them obviously through her, and I saw their marriage. We just had conversations. I remember nights that we were in Burger King, and they poured into us, and we had questions, and like I learned from them, like the measure of a man and the worth of the woman, or a fragrance of a woman, and what that all meant and all that stuff. And I was like, that all new. So my perception, my perspective, and my language started changing, because not only did I want to change, but I saw what that looked like, and I was like, I don't want what I saw growing up. And no, I didn't want that, and I didn't know that I didn't want that until I saw the opposite of that. I was like, but I knew that it required work, because I had to undo all of that, because I ran the risk of bringing that into my marriage, right? So I was so invested in my growth as a woman, as a person, and if he decided to change his mind, fine, but I knew I needed it. I just knew I did. I knew I wanted something different. Definitely encourage every couple to get counseling before you get married, because you get to find out things about each other that you can decide early in the game that do I have the capacity, the ability, the willingness to work with this person through this.
Because it's a lot of effort.
Because it's a lot, and a lot of money.
Yeah.
So before you say I do, say I will to the work.
Interesting, that's a good one.
Say I will to the work, because marriage is a lot of work. The wedding is just one day, but it's the marriage. People say, oh my goodness, yay, here for Black Love, almost 22 years, wow, how'd you guys do it? I'm like, it takes a lot of work. It's learning together, it's coming two worlds, two ideas, two personalities, two perspectives, two everything, and you're trying to merge it. There's gonna be friction. How are you going to work that out?
Didn't you say too, like, you guys feel like you're just finding your groove now?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Like, how Stella got her groove back? It's not just a movie, y'all.
It's real life.
It's real life. It's real life, because we put in the work.
Yeah.
We have put in the work that we can actually enjoy the fruit of our labor, the fruit of the work. But we have determined that what took us almost 22 years, that if we can help couples to learn that in their 5th year of marriage, in their 7th year of marriage, then we'll do it.
Right, like saving some time.
Yeah, we took all of this, we went through the hard knocks so that you won't have to wait as long. What took us 22 years, let's get you guys to learn this in your 5-year marriage or your 7-year marriage.
So I guess that falls into your pillars.
Yes. Oh my goodness, yes.
What are your pillars?
So the pillars that we discuss with every couple when we're sitting down with them, and not just couples, but so communication, sex, faith, family, and finances.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I knew there was another F.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, those are our pillars.
Okay.
So I like to go deep. I like to get to the root. And then from communication, we also help couples to identify their 5 love languages. Dr. Gary Thomas is the author of the book, The 5 Love Languages. He has it for the 5 love languages for kids and couples as well.
And so for kids too, that's cute.
Which we've also been able to use and identify with our children as well. So the 5 love languages, physical touch, acts of services, quality time, gifts, and so physical touch, acts of service, quality time,
Affirmation.
words of affirmation, and gifts. Yes. And so we talk about that, and we help couples to be able to identify Oftentimes we love or we do for each other the way that we would like to be loved. So, for example, John might tell you just how beautiful you are, and he says, it's been a long time since we've been able to spend some time together. What he's saying is words of affirmation and quality time. Meanwhile, you're like, you haven't bought me anything in so long. Like,
Or come hug me.
Right? Come hug me. Or why do I always have to pump the gas or put out the garbage? Because you're saying acts of service, right? And you like gifts. So it's just helping couples. And when we do that, we find when couples are able to find out what their love languages are, then we find out that they're better able to communicate with each other.
So then how do you help couples with finances on that pillar? Because I feel like finance is a big part that people forget.
It is. And I think for me, if you're strong at it, then be the one to be the chief financial officer in the family. Not because you're I am man and hear me roar and I should be the one to
hear me roar.
Right? Again, aging myself. Don't let me feel a fool, y'all. I'm well over 40. No, if we play to each other's strengths. That is what's going to make this team called marriage, this team of family work to its optimal performance and peak performance ability to do that. It's just play to your strengths. If the guy is better at organizing and planning, and the woman is just really great with numbers and making sure that the bills are paid on time, then do that. But I do encourage to invite the man or invite that other person into the conversations. Let them see the bills, let them know, so that they're not feeling like them worthless. Sorry, I didn't know how else to say that.
No, it's okay. Bring your
right?
pet.
Yeah, no, don't make them feel like them worthless. Yeah. Bring them in. Communicate. Right? You're keeping that aspect of the relationship open. Communicate. Babe, what do you think about this? And do we have enough? Do you think this is the amount that's in the bank account? These are the bills. Do you think we have anything else that's coming up? Have those conversations. Let them feel included.
I think the issue is like delivery for everything.
Oh my goodness.
So like, because me too, sometimes I catch myself, I'm like, you should have said that better. Now there's an issue.
Right.
Yeah. So like, how do we improve the delivery?
Soft words. And think about, would you like to be spoken to like that? But be man, woman enough, human enough to say, I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said like that. I'm so sorry I snapped. I'm so sorry I'm having cramps. And it was such a horrible day, and I had this client, and I just haven't got a chance to really self-care. And I took that on you, and I'm so sorry.
Right.
Can I try that again? Can you please forgive me? Just say I'm sorry.
Right. Accountability.
Own your stuff. Right. Own your mistakes. And just own it. And I promise you'll see so much more love and grace in your relationship when you just say, I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. Please forgive me.
Apologies. It does make the big difference. And then you can come back with the conversation that you need to have.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you both are at a better place where you can understand what each other is saying.
Right.
And it makes a big difference.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. How would you define, or maybe
differentiate?
Thank you.
I got you.
The words obedience, sacrifice, and free will.
Obedience, sacrifice, free will.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Yeah. Obedience, sacrifice, free will. In what context? Can you help me understand?
I guess it's more so like in the context of like trying to better yourself, and when you know that there are things that you need to start to let go, habits that aren't serving you anymore, there's that need. Sometimes it's like, I need to sacrifice this to be able to get more. But then you also know that God gives us free will, so we can continue it if we want to. But then I've also been trying to understand like the parallels, I think that's the word, between obedience and sacrifice. And a lot of the times I think from the lens of sacrifice, but I've been thinking, I'm like, maybe I need to approach more from obedience, because there's more space for growth, and there's more space for what's the word I'm looking like? Not prosperity, but there's more space for blessings to come from that space than thinking of sacrifices. And the way I was thinking about talking about it with my friend, I was like, okay, let's say like you're walking down, you're used to going through a path. And that's the path you're used to going. But now it's kind of like God is telling you, oh, maybe you need to start taking this path. And you're like, oh no, I really like this path. There's this water, there's this flower. I really like it brings. So it's kind of like a me. But now I feel like I have to sacrifice it, and it touches the ego, right? But then if I actually obey to the other path, then maybe it's actually shorter. Maybe it's actually safer, and maybe there's something at the end of that path that kind of brings me closer to where it is that I want to be. I just have to obey, and more will actually come rather than kind of feeling like I'm sacrificing the other path. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And you know what I hear? I hear trust.
Okay.
I hear, like when you use the analogy of go this way, go, and you're like, no, but here's this path with water. I hear trust. Do you trust me? And I hear, no, I don't trust you. That's why I'm saying no. Or trust to obey. So one of the exercises that we like to do, again, with our couples is, we call it the fallback test. So the fallback test where the woman stands in front of the man, or vice versa. She's blindfolded, and she has to listen to her partner's voice, her husband's voice. And when he says fall, she has to fall.
Oh, my heart jumped.
Right. So she could do one of those. She can do one of those things, like you said. Like she can say no. Like no, straight up no.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust you. I don't trust your voice. And one of the other thing that we'll do is we'll have him move farther from her, where she has to. And I'll say, okay, well, lower your voice a little bit, where she has to really listen intentionally to hear the voice. Will you obey the assignment? Will you obey the instruction? Or will you not? Because it tells me the level of trust that you have in the person. Or will you sacrifice by saying, no, I don't feel comfortable, so I'm not going to obey, and I'm not going to sacrifice my life, my health to this person. So therefore, I'm gonna not. It's just like, I think, for me as a believer, it's not, I don't struggle. When I struggle, because I do, I'm human. When I struggle with obedience, it's because I'm still being very fleshy.
Right.
And I'm still in my flesh. I'm not allowing the spirit to control my behaviors. I still want to get back at the person. So, Kimberly, I want you to forgive so-and-so for the molestation. Well, no, they were wrong and they hurt me and I was just a little child and whatever. And God's like, well, do you trust me, my love, to heal?
Okay, this is a conversation that I had with my friends the other day. We've realized, and I think it's pretty common, like when it comes to sex for women, there's a lot of shame that's attributed to it. And so like, even if like we're in an era of like, you know, reclaiming our sexual powers, things like that, then when it comes to actually engaging, it could be difficult. It's not difficult to act, but it's the getting there that can be difficult, because we find ourselves being like in our minds a lot. And so, I don't know, a lot of us were kind of just figuring out like, how do you like push through some of that like that mental chatter, and then like that shame that can kind of come from feeling like, I guess, you're not doing something well, or like, you know, you kind of feel like a walking sin.
Yeah, that's a real question.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's turn off the tabloids and the soap operas and like seriously, like and even the porn.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's another conversation we're talking about. Porn has a big influence.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
Turn that filth off, because Not every, and I'm listen, we keep it as real as we possibly can. We're not squirters. Not everybody's squirting and whatever. Like, please, like, stop the foolishness.
Yeah.
Right? Like, stop this.
Make it
and
real.
make it real. And you know how you make it real? By communicating. I really like it when you. I don't like it when it makes me feel better when you. Right? Communicate. Talk it out. My God. Stop putting all this societal pressure on yourself. Like, men, don't think that you're gonna just, it's not a Viagra commercial. It's not a, no. But talk it out and talk about your expectations. Have those honest conversations. And don't be afraid to say, I am apprehensive because I experienced XYZ, so it's going to take me a while to open up. Be okay with saying that and be patient.
With yourself?
With yourself and each other. Don't let anybody pressure you. This is something that is so sacred, so beautiful, that it's not to be taken lightly. You don't give your body just to any and anybody. And take the time to heal. That if you know that you have experienced any type of childhood or adult trauma that you've not dealt with, take the time before you even venture into opening up that particular part of yourself to another human being. And if he or she's not worth waiting for, then bye Tyrone, bye Felicia. Like, seriously, you know, as we're talking about taking back our sexuality, take that back too, that you're worth waiting for, that there's so much value in you, on you, that, listen, society wants to rush. No, you say, I'm worth waiting for. And own it with pride. And again, take the time to heal, because that is real. That is real. And again, in the vein of transparency, I was molested growing up as a child, and one of my molesters, he's dark skinned. My husband is dark skinned, and there was a time when I was triggered by something and I recoiled. I curled up like a child, and I was crying. And God bless my husband, so patient. And he's like, he thought he hurt me. And I told him what happened, and he went through a sea of emotions. Like, one, like, I'm so angry at this molester. I wish I was there to protect you. I'm so angry that this is still affecting you even now. What can I do? And I was just like, in that moment, I don't need you to do anything. Just be here for me while I have my moment. And he did. But be honest. Be honest, because those things can and will happen. And you'll either have a trigger where you'll be brought to tears, or you'll fake it and cry alone, instead of inviting your partner into that process of healing with you.
And it's important for you to learn how to be in that space with somebody.
100%.
And to invite them in.
Yeah.
It's
a very vulnerable and sacred act. That's why God wants you to wait. And you're worth waiting for. So that's my 2 cents.
I think it also ties in with just like some shame around our bodies.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
It's just how we might view our bodies and not thinking that it's good enough. To be
and
shared with somebody else.
Right. You know, and listen, we come in all different beautiful shapes and sizes. There's nothing to be ashamed about. And for me, growing up, I heard horrible things that affected how my self-esteem, my self-confidence, that I could get dressed without looking in a mirror. Like, full on. We didn't have beat face back then, but listen, that lip liner was on, my lip gloss was on point, all without looking in the mirror, because I didn't like the person that I saw, because I was told my hair was nappy, I was maga, thin, and worthless. Nobody's ever gonna want me, love me, but so we have to reclaim that negative narrative, get rid of it, and speak positively to yourself. And don't try to be like anybody else. You are enough. You are enough. And enough is enough. It's enough time to own. Like, we're pretty like money, as my mother would say. You're pretty like money. Like, we're watching the show and we're celebrating just how beautiful this black woman looked. Like, that's who we are. We're so beautiful. Can we celebrate that and stop putting each other down? We're not size zero.
Right.
And some of us may be, but we're curvy and voluptuous and melanated and fearfully and wonderfully made. Let's
Celebrate that.
celebrate
Own
it.
that. Yeah.
Own it. If my sister looks amazing, you best believe I'm going to tell you, girl, I love your hair. You are working that buzz cut. You are working that lip color. You're working them hoops. Girl, yes. Why not? We're sitting there, we hating on each other. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's enough. Enough. Put it away. Put it away.
The time has come.
Right?
for there to
The
be
time
that.
of freedom.
Yeah. That's
Right?
funny.
Like, seriously, man.
That's
No,
funny.
it's just, it's, we need to do away with all of that and celebrate each other. Celebrate each other all the way through.
Final words that you want to tell the people.
What would I say? I would say, besides the fact that God loves you so much, He loves you, I want you to know that you are so loved and you are deserving of every good gift. And that starts with looking at yourself and say, I am a good gift.
Oh, that's a nice one. I am a good gift.
I am a good gift. I am a good gift.
Gift to the world.
Gift to the world, and don't let anybody silence your voice. Your voice, your story, we need to hear it. We need to hear it. We overcome by the word of our testimonies and by the blood of the Lamb. Let's share our testimonies. Let's share what worked. How did you learn? How did you overcome? That, I think, would be my...
That's where the healing takes place.
That's where the healing takes place. And healing happens also in community. Right? How many times you leave here, you're like, oh,
Every
good.
time.
That's good.
Every time I
That's
go
good.
back, I'm like, dang. Kimberly's got me.
And I
Kimberly's
go to
got
my
me.
husband like,
Yeah.
babe, I love you.
Yeah.
Over and over, like, you're like, oh boy, what did you guys talk about? Just know, I still do, and I will continue to put in the work. Because you're deserving. You're deserving.
Oh, it's nice.
Right? So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Thank you for having me on the Miriam Show. I'm kidding.
On the Miriam Show. No, I'm just like, I think like when it comes to hair, we naturally have these conversations
We do.
anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is the culture.
Right?
Guys,
This
this
is
is
what
the
we do.
culture. This is what we do.
This is what we do.
So you
Wherever
bring
we
it-
are, this is what we do.
So you bring it to the forefront
Yeah.
and you show people how it's done. And
Yeah.
we make this space the sacred space that it's
Yeah.
meant to be.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know, playing with my hair, I don't let just anybody touch my hair.
No.
My family will tell you.
Mm.
Not everybody's
No.
dirty hands can come
No,
into my
absolutely
hair.
not. Right? Seriously.
Yeah.
No. And I'm over here like, yes, Lord, look, this is an honor. This is I'm touching your head.
Yeah.
This is where you think,
Yeah.
your thought process and being able to analyze and process. It's an honor.
And you can tell it's going well.
But
'cause my hair is just, yeah.
Girl,
Yeah.
listen.
God knew what he was doing when he brought us together.
Divine connections. We about them divine connections.
I have a church Instagram that I still need to follow.
Right.
So
So
it's-
Impact Community Life Center.
Okay.
Impact Community Life Center.
Okay, I'll text you for the information
Yes.
too and I'll add it.
Follow us.
Sounds
We
good.
are hoping to launch here in the Ottawa area, hopefully in Carlton Place in the fall. So
Ooh, that's soon.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited.
we are too.
Big things are coming for Kimberly and
Amen.
Christopher. The
Amen.
Clarks. Yes.
We out here loving people, loving God, loving people. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's
That simple. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Until
Thank
next
you.
time.
This is beautiful. It's like a mirror.
Yes.
Ah, piece of art.
Yes.
This is what this
Macrame.
is. What she just said.
Yes.
Macrame.
Yeah.
I learned a new word today, guys. Macrame. We learn. We don't just do hair. Like, we learn together, guys. This is macrame.
Yeah.
Lord, please help me to remember this when I go share with family. Please, Lord Jesus, do not let my boys.
Yeah, I don't know how
Pray,
you going.
pray for me, okay?
We gonna pray for her, guys.
Pray, because if they mash up my things.
And it's a mirror too.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you,
No
thank you for
problem.
my first ever macro.